International Baccalaureate 101. What is the International Baccalaureate? International Baccalaureate, IB, is a worldwide nonprofit education program founded to give all students the opportunity to receive an education fit for a globalizing world. There are 4 IB education programs, all of which are intended to develop students' intellectual, emotional, personal, and social skills. Sealth is an international baccalaureate school. We offer a wide variety of IB courses as well as the International Diploma or Career Pathway, offering students an excellent way to expand their personal and academic horizons.
Choosing between the IB Diploma program and the IB Career Path program. The IB Diploma requires that you take an IB exam from each of the 6 subjects, which will be listed out later. The exam subjects include 3 to 4 higher level exams and 2 to 3 standard level exams. In addition, you must complete the Creativity, Activity, and Service Hours requirement, also known as CAS, write an extended essay, which is maximum 4,000 words, and complete the reflections, and complete a 7th class known as TOK. Now onto the IB Career Path requirements. You're required to take at least 2 IB exams from any of the 6 subjects, and the program is designed for people interested in career-related studies such as business and medicine. Other requirements include completing the service learning portfolio, the language development portfolio, a reflective project, which is maximum 3,000 word essay, along with taking a 7th class called Pathways to Learning, which is similar to the TOK requirement. And here's the list of IB classes offered at Sealth. Please note that the Group 6 requirement can be fulfilled by any other class in any of the other groups. Here are 2 examples of what an IB Diploma schedule can be. We have Student A, who is in both the Academy and the Immersion program, is in English and Language HL, Spanish HL, History of the Americas Immersion HL, Sports Medicine, Math Analysis, and Business Management SL.
Here we have Student B, who's taking English and Language HL, Chinese Ab Initio, History of the Americas HL, Biology HL, Math Analysis HL, and Visual Arts SL.
I took IB for 2 reasons. I knew I wanted to challenge myself in school academically, both just to learn more and to be a competitive applicant for college. And the second reason is I still wanted to have the high school experience, showing up to school every day and taking 6 classes.
I personally decided to do IB because my freshman and sophomore year, I had pretty good grades, but I was doing the bare minimum to get those grades. Like I barely did any homework, any classwork. I was doing the bare minimum, I'm telling you. And so I decided to do IB because I wanted to see what I was really capable of academically, and I knew I was going to prepare myself for college through those classes. So I just took on IB, and then it helped me with my work ethic and me personally.
My favorite thing about the IB program is being a chance to learn from the teachers in the IB program. I believe they teach really well, and their classes are fun.
My favorite thing about IB was that you're surrounded by students that have a similar mindset to you, and so everyone is working really hard academically, so if you need help from your peers, you can easily get that with IB classes.
One thing that I really benefited from taking the IB Diploma route was learning and developing good study habits, work habits to prepare me for the next level of education. And one reason why I would recommend students to take the IB route in high school is for you to challenge yourself academically, so you kind of get the feel of college classes, so you don't get rambunctious with schoolwork right from the start of college. You don't get an early start.
I personally benefited from IB in many ways. First off, it helped with my college application. Even though I only had 3.4 GPA, colleges liked that I was pushing myself with IB, because they know that even though I didn't have the best GPA, because I was taking hard classes, they ranked that higher than someone who has super good grades, but easy classes. So that's one really big benefit right there. And then another thing is that it helped with my work ethic. Me personally, I was always super lazy and not doing homework, but with IB, it forced me to do it, or else I wasn't going to graduate. So it benefited me in many ways.
Some tips I have for incoming IB students are, one would be to, during class, make sure to pay attention and take good notes for review, and another one is to use your classmates as a resource, as you can learn and teach them, and they're a good resource to be successful in the IB program.
My biggest tip for incoming juniors and anyone incoming to the IB program is to schedule yourself to get, especially your IAs and your EEs done, because those are the biggest killers in the program. Not the schoolwork or the homework, it's these extra projects you gotta do for your IB exam.
I'm going into my second round of curriculum revision for language and literature. So I've been teaching IB for a while, and it's funny because the 3 questions that I'm being asked, what are my favorite things about teaching IB, why would I recommend the IB curriculum to students, and then how has IB improved my teaching, all of those really interconnect. So I think I have to answer them in a big, messy blob. I mean, one of my favorite things about teaching IB is because it improves my teaching. I think when you're teaching IB, you have to be current. You can't fall back on teaching the same thing every single year in the same way. So I really appreciate that about IB. I think also because the assessments are initially and continually challenging to sort of get your head around as a teacher, you really have to learn what you're asking your students to do. And it just makes you a lot more thoughtful about the outcomes you want them to achieve. IB also has an incredible philosophy of inclusion, and it also expects that we value languages other than English, which is the language that we're teaching Langlit in. And so that's completely changed the way I approach even discussing language acquisition and teaching English. And so I've very much appreciated that about IB. And if you're a student and you have a choice between AP and IB, I would always go IB. And this is why. So I haven't taught AP since 2008, but IB allows for so much choice and personal exploration of topics that you're interested in that there's just no reason not to pursue IB. So it's not that it's hard. I think there's a misconception that the IB curriculum is hard. It's challenging in that IB demands that you think about concepts on a global scale. You look beyond yourself and you make connections. And that's the fun part of learning, right? I mean, it's hard to do that, but I think once you get in the habit of doing it, it becomes almost addictive and you just can't think any other way. And I feel like students who come out of our IB program, whether they're doing the full diploma or they just take one single course, their brains shift. They think differently. And I've heard from so many students who've gone to college that they feel like their critical thinking skills are at college level. And they note that a lot of their peers, especially in their first year of college, aren't quite thinking in that same way. So IB is good for your brain, and that is why we should all do it.
Taking IB will get rid of your social life.
What you gotta say about that? That's 100% not true. All of us, we're personally in ASB, which takes time out of your day, of course. And then I know Twan was playing basketball for Sealth. Me and Lance played soccer for Sealth and outside of Sealth. And then also we still found time to hang out with friends, 100%. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, definitely an IB myth.
Completely myth.
Yeah.
I would say definitely junior year, first year IB was probably the most fun school year I had, even though it was arguably the hardest. But really the key thing is to know yourself. If you know you're not going to do the workload that it may require, then you don't have to do your diploma, your career path, or just take a few classes.
Second IB myth: 7 hours of homework each day. What I have to say is that what I have to say about that is honestly, it really there is a lot of homework that comes with IB, but you really just have to plan ahead and study before, so you don't cram it all on one night. Just slowly chip away, and the workload is definitely manageable.
Nah, but even Twan sends a lot of homework, I would say is definitely like exaggerated. I would personally say that if you focus in class and you can do your work in class, then like what I had a day, if I had to average out my overall daily homework I would say I did 30 minutes a day. So saying like 7 hours is so wrong. Like you can 100% just space your work out and finish in 30 minutes per day.
I would only say you'd ever have 7 hours of homework in a night if you spent the other 6 days of the week not doing anything.
Yep. True.
Third myth, Running Start is better for students who would want to go into an in-state school, like, for example, University of Washington. I will admit there is some trueness to that statement, but at the same time, going to an in-state or out-of-state, I still would recommend IB because it builds better studying habits for me, and in my opinion, and also you're not separating yourself from the high school experience.
Yeah, just to build off what Twan said, even though maybe even with Running Start, you could potentially transfer more credits in and have less college, spend less time in college. The most important thing to do that is to get into the school. And I know from our senior class, pretty much everyone that did IB got into UW, but then for the kids that did Running Start, like, unfortunately it was much less kids that got in that applied. Like, I would say it's under, what do you say, like under like 50% for sure.
50%.
For 100%.
Yeah, and like 100%. Like
100% under 50%.
90% got in at that did IB.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about that, you better be grinding at South Seattle, because even though you might transfer more credits in, you still gotta get into the school. At the end of the day, IB is what's gonna get you into the school.
Yeah,
sure.
Those are the three biggest myths that I have on my list. You guys have any other IB myths?
I would say a lot of people think that Running Start prepares you better for college than IB
by taking college classes.
Yeah, since you're taking college classes. But at the end of the day, like, that could be true if you're taking very challenging classes through Running Start. But IB is designed to like have
critical thinking
and classes that would be similar to college. And so not only is it like getting you a really good thing to put in your resume and like helping you to get into college, it also prepares you to be ready in college. And I know with Running Start, a lot of people like get lazy because of all that free time and don't take hard classes. And IB won't let you do that. So for sure, I would say that's a myth too.
Add on to what Gabe was saying, definitely if you're a big self-motivator, you know, Running Start might be something for you. But if like going to school every day is something that challenges you to get your work done, then I would say definitely IB is the better option.
Yeah, both are really good options for the future, though. Don't get us wrong. Running Start is a good thing.
All good.
Yeah. Those are.
Is there any other myths?
The next biggest myth I would say is you don't have to be the smartest person in your class to be successful in IB. I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, really how much do you want to work, like I was saying earlier. So if you're someone who really wants to push themselves, then, you know, the diploma program might be a great path for you, or a career path. And if you know you're someone who might not be that like super school inclined but still want the challenge, then you could take some classes, just IB classes on your own.
Yep, I 100% agree. This is a great example right here. All three of us completed the IB diploma. Right here we're looking at the #1 rank in our class, #2 rank, and number 55. So that just shows you, like, even though I'm not, and a lot of people in IB aren't like the cream of the crop, at the end of the day, it's all about your work ethic and if you want to put yourself academically. Because I know there's a bunch of freshmen and sophomores out there getting A's and B's with ease. I promise you, like, freshman, sophomore year, it was not that tough, but you can still do that same thing with just a little bit more dedication up in a junior and senior year. As long as you just have the right attitude for it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, and like, you don't have to take all IB classes. Like, you could just everyone at Sealth takes at least one IB class. I'd say like IB writing, everyone takes. I'm pretty sure.
Yep,
so
IB LA senior year.
Yeah, so like, just test around. Don't be scared of like thinking that it's like just for smart people. Like, that's like what I probably say is the biggest myth. IB is just for smart kids.
Yep, and there's no reason not to try. Because at the end of the day, like, a bunch of people, you can go to, like, you can go to your counselor and just say, I don't want to do it anymore. They'll move your schedule around. But what's the harm in trying to see if you can accomplish that feat of getting the IB diploma if you're capable? Like, you might as well try.
All right. Thank you, guys.
If you still have more questions about IB or are looking for any information pertaining to IB, please feel free to reach out to our IB coordinator, Ms. Hayes, at akhayes@seattleschools.org.